Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your NXT review on Thursday afternoon, May 7th. Yes, May 7th, 2020. Here to talk about last night's episode of NXT. And I want to start off by saying first, no disrespect to NXT. I love NXT for years, huge fan of the product, but I gotta say, last night's show was built up to be a takeover-esque NXT, and in my opinion, it was, let me back this camera up a little bit, there we go, it was the worst NXT episode that has happened since this entire pandemic has started, and the fact that they built the show up to be a takeover show, you had the two championship matches, and you had Johnny Gargano and Dominik Dijakovic. This show did not live up to the hype whatsoever. I don't want to say this well, but at some points of the show, I felt like I was watching Monday Night Raw for a match or two, a few matches on the show. Basically, the whole show, I felt like I was watching Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Just look at the main event, which we'll talk about last. The Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. 8 minutes. Rushed. Underwhelming. That was my thoughts on the NXT Championship main event. But everything else we'll talk about here on the channel. But before we start the NXT review, make sure you guys go check out previous videos up here on the channel. You got the Monday Night Raw review, Dark Side of the Ring, and the AEW Dynamite review, which I uploaded last night. That show was fantastic. So if you haven't already, go check out that review last night and the two videos that I mentioned. Without further ado, let's talk about NXT. Let's talk about it. Open up the show with Johnny Gargano and Dominik Dijakovic. 12 minutes, decent match. Would have been better in front of a crowd, but with the circumstances going on, it is what it is. Johnny Gargano is going to win. He won with a slingshot DDT, I believe, with the help of Candice LeRae. Johnny Gargano won. He came out to the same theme music as Candice LeRae, which I really like the theme music, and we should see where Johnny Gargano goes from here. Dominik Dijakovic, I mean, he's lost in the shuffle now after his match with Gargano. What's he do? You know? He lost twice to the North American Championship, so who knows what Dominik Dijakovic does next on NXT, but 12 minutes, match was decent, not bad. We go that into Akira Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher in the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Now, Monday night on Raw, Akira Tozawa was in the Last Chance Gauntlet match to see who would be in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Akira Tozawa lost to Bobby Lashley in 20 seconds, okay? He lost to Bobby Lashley in 20 seconds on Monday Night Raw. What makes you think that I'm supposed to take Akira Tozawa seriously in the NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament? I don't care if he's undefeated and he beat Isaiah Scott and he beat Jack Gallagher. I don't care. If you book him to be like a loser on Monday Night Raw, which he's been booked in the past weeks. I mean, he lost to Zelina Vega's stable. He lost to Jinder Mahal in 2 minutes. He lost to Bobby Lashley in 20 seconds. You know, how am I supposed to take this guy seriously? I really can't. I can't. So, that's my thoughts on Akira Tozawa. And I just don't care about him now. I don't care about him. And in my eyes, he's a loser. Akira Tozawa is a loser. I'm sorry. But match with Jack Gallagher, nothing special. Match went 4 minutes. Match could have went way longer than it did. That was another problem on this show of NXT. These matches were just way too short. Some of these matches were short and didn't even need to happen on the show, which I'll talk about for the main event. We then see Xia Li versus Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green with Robert Stone. Aaliyah comes out and distracts Xia Li. They're still feuding. I have no idea why. Who cares? And Chelsea Green won with the I'm Prettier in about 1:30 seconds. Nothing to say here. I mean, this is just filler. This was just fill TV time, and I guess advance the Xia Li Aaliyah story, which no one cares about. No one cares. But this was the highlight of the show. Karrion Kross debut match with Leon Ruff. The match was fine. Killer Kross destroyed him. But the best part about the entire night was Killer Kross's entrance, or Karrion Kross's entrance. Because my God, I had no words after that. I didn't even know how to describe it in words. It was just perfect. A perfect entrance. You had the black and white Titantron. You had Scarlett Bordeaux standing on stage. Karrion Kross stood right in front of her, and she crawled underneath his legs, and she was singing, and then the theme song is freaking awesome. It's just awesome. And then with the red smoke and the smoke in the ring and the lighting, it looked frightening, and it was a fantastic presentation of Karrion Kross. And when we got a normal crowd back together, I could see the crowd singing along to his theme song, because he's definitely got a good sing-along theme song. I don't know the exact words, but my God, that was a perfect presentation for Karrion Kross. This entire segment gets an A+. If there was one good thing on this episode of NXT that I did not like, it was this. This was excellent. And I'm going to tell you right now that Karrion Kross, by the end of 2020, will be your NXT champion when he takes the NXT championship off of Adam Cole. That's what I'm going with. Io Shirai versus Charlotte for the NXT Women's Championship. This match went this was the longest match of the night. I think this estimated at about 14-15 minutes. I mean, look, the match was average at best. It felt like that they were getting held back at times, and they couldn't go full-blown steam to have that great match. But it felt like that they were just held back and slowed down, it felt like. And it was fine. The match was okay, but it could have been a whole lot better than it was. That's my opinion. I think it could have been a whole lot better than it was. At the end of the match, Charlotte hits a Io Shirai with a kendo stick, and it calls for the DQ. So WWE took the cheap way out of this and caused a DQ with Io Shirai and Charlotte. Charlotte's working the knee of Io Shirai. Rhea Ripley comes down. She's beating up Charlotte. Charlotte runs away from Rhea Ripley. Io Shirai confronts Rhea Ripley, like, why'd you come out here and help me? And then they're fighting in the backstage. So this all sets up a triple threat match in the future with Io Shirai, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley. I mean, I think the match should be pretty good. I mean, it's just, yes, am I glad that Io Shirai didn't lose clean? Yes. Because if Io Shirai just tapped out to Charlotte and Charlotte retained the NXT Championship, Twitter would have been exploded. Twitter would have exploded last night. And it would have been not a good way. And then they would have had nobody else for Charlotte after that. And then they were obviously going to do a redemption story with Rhea Ripley. And she doesn't even have momentum right now after her loss at WrestleMania. It's just like, I saw Rhea Ripley running down the stage. And I get like, oh my God, it's Rhea Ripley. Here comes Rhea Ripley making her return from WrestleMania. I was just like, okay, Rhea Ripley's back. So, that's that. We're getting a triple threat match. I guess, it's going to be a way for Charlotte to drop the title because, God forbid, they have their precious queen. They have their robotic queen, Charlotte Flair, take a pinfall. God forbid. So they got to make it a triple threat and have either Io or Rhea take the pin whenever the triple threat match happens. So that's that. I felt like it could have been much better than it was, and I'm not really ecstatic, I guess you could say, over Rhea Ripley's return. Kushida versus Jake Atlas. Again, another match that was just way too short. These guys could have killed it for at least 10 minutes. These guys were giving 3 minutes. Jake Atlas goes to the top rope. Kushida catches him in the hoverboard and he taps out immediately. So, this was nothing special. Kushida advances in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament, and that's really all I gotta say about it. Finn Balor cut a promo. He said, I thought the snake was at the creative desk, but there's a snake in the locker room who thinks if they just attack a big star, they'll get booked and stuff like that, and that Finn Balor is going to bite the snake's head off, or whatever. I don't remember the words. But then we see Denzel Dejournette versus Cameron Grimes. Denzel Dejournette, the man who got squashed by Bobby Lashley on Raw, and the man who got squashed by Sheamus on SmackDown. Yes, him. He lost to Cameron Grimes here in 20 seconds. Cameron Grimes wins with the double foot stomp. He cuts a promo. He's talking shit on Finn Balor, and he's talking shit about Finn Balor. Finn Balor walks on the stage, and he said he's going to slap him in the face. So Finn tells him to slap him in the face. Cameron Grimes hesitates. He goes to hit him. Finn Balor punches him back. He gives him a drop kick, I believe, and then Cameron Grimes goes out of the ring. So then next week on NXT, we're getting an NXT Tag Team Championship match with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher against Imperium and Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. Finally, guys, the last thing we'll talk about here on the NXT review was the NXT Championship match with the Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole. And as I said earlier, this match was very underwhelming. I could not get excited for it, but the build was very lackluster, and the match was only 8 minutes. A Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole NXT Championship match went 8 minutes. That alone, I just can't get behind at all. It goes back to what I said earlier, that you could have cut a few of these short matches. Like, there's no point of having Isaiah Lee versus Chelsea Green. There's no point of having Denzel Dejournette versus Cameron Grimes. Like, those matches are pointless. No one cares about those matches. You could have taken those matches off, and you could have given Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe to put on a good match, tell a good story, like close to a takeover match as possible. But instead, we got a fast, rushed, overwhelming 8-minute match with Velveteen and Adam Cole, which I did not like. Early on, they were hitting their big moves like it was toward the end of the match. Like 2 minutes into the match, Adam Cole was going for the Panama Sunrise. And like, I'm just like, what? Like, why is he going for this so early and stuff like that? He's going for the last shot 2 minutes into the match and stuff like that. I didn't like that at all. And then the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong came out, and Dexter Lumis came slithering out of the ring. And it makes me confused if Dexter Lumis is a heel or a face. I have no idea. I don't know. I guess he's a babyface. We'll see, though. But at the end, Adam Cole gives Velveteen a super kick. He gives him a last shot, and Adam Cole beats Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship. That's nothing special. Nothing special, man. I hope down the line, when everything gets back together, I hope that Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole can have another match for the NXT Championship, because I know for a fact they can do better than what I saw last night. They can do much better than that. I'm getting out of here. That's your NXT review. Like I said in the beginning, really was not a fan of this show whatsoever, and the fact that it was built up to be a takeover show, it did not live up to the hype whatsoever. If anything, it failed big time. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, subscribe right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow, I will be right here on the Big Fight Field channel for your Money in the Bank preview and predictions with my co-partner and my good friend, Eddie Mullins of the Big Fight Field channel. You're not going to want to miss it. Comment down below what you thought of this week's episode of NXT. Like this video with a super kick. You can follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph. You can follow me on Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. You can follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins 515. Guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to prepare for tomorrow's Money in the Bank predictions, and it's going to be a great one, so you're not going to want to miss it. Have a good night. Stay safe.